G'day legends, I hope you're all awesome. On today's video, we're going to make some noise with the Marshall JVM410JS, the Joe Satriani signature edition of the JVM. I did a video last week with the standard edition JVM410H. If you want to watch me go deep and get into the weeds with that one, I'll link it in the video description. A few similarities, a few differences on here. The similarities being that you have 4 channels with 3 modes each. There's MIDI control, there's an effects loop, there's a bunch of different speaker output options. Some differences include the way some of the channels are voiced. There's a mid-shift control on the OD1 and OD2 channels, and instead of built-in digital reverb, you have a built-in noise gate, which I think is pretty handy on here. So over here, still got dual master volumes. You've got the resonance and presence control on the front panel. Let's just start on the green clean channel on my PRS. I'll let you hear the neck pickup, which is a Duncan Jazz. Then I'll click it back 1 on the 5-way so that you can hear one of the parallel modes. So that is the green mode of the clean channel. You've got an orange mode and a red mode on there. Should have mentioned earlier, I'm running into my regular Marshall 1960 TV cab with greenbacks, SM57 off access, universal audio Apollo interface into Pro Tools, a little bit of post EQ with FabFilter Pro Q3, and a little bit of reverb thanks to Soundtoys little plate. Let's hear the orange mode now. Same settings. I should mention on here the actual settings. The bass I've got at around 1 o'clock. Same as the treble and gain. The mid-range is at around noon, and the channel volume on this is currently around 11 o'clock. So let's try this mode now. That is a lot cleaner on the red mode than the regular JVM, and even the orange mode on that kind of parallel mode on the PRS is very, very sparkly on there. Kind of like it. I found the regular JVM, I mostly wanted to set it up for crunchy tones. The green mode was really clean, but everything else just started to get a bit in your face, whereas with this, you can still use the orange mode, bit of headroom on the gain, and you've actually got a really lovely clean tone. I've got a Crazy Tube Circuits compressor on my pedal board at the moment. It's bypass, but I'll kick it in and I'll let you hear this kind of get funky. This channel works pretty well as a platform for drives. I'm going to kick in a Crowther hotcake for you now. Let's go to the neck pickup. All right, I bypassed all the pedals again. Let's go over to channel 2 over here. We'll start out green. We'll go orange and red. Bass just below noon and the mid and treble just above noon there. The red mode, you get quite a volume boost on there. So if you're going to use this as, I guess, a 4-channel amp, maybe go for super clean over here. This could be your not insane high gain sound, but still plenty of gain. And then you use the other 2 channels for your insane high gain sounds, maybe like clean and your lower gain lead on channel 2. Then you use OD1 and OD2 for like a heavy rhythm and a heavy lead. Orange mode again. I just kind of like orange mode on these amps. If they only had orange mode, I would be pretty stoked. Let's do this. Let's try, what am I going to try? I'm going to try get some jangle out of this channel just to see if you could go from like super clean on channel 1 to, I guess, kind of voxy on this channel. So I'll pull some mids out. I'm going to boost some bass and some more treble on here, and parallel mode. That is with the gain just above 9 o'clock. I'm going to kick in a Boss SD1 as a boost on that, just to see if we can get kind of jangle and then boosted jangle. That does, so you can kind of get maybe like a finer grade of gain staging on those first 2 channels than the regular JVM. They're not wildly different, but you go super clean, you go, I guess, kind of pseudo vox on there. I'm on OD1 now on the green mode. You know that I'm going to hit orange and love it, but I'll let you hear green, orange, and red. I've got the mids and treble at around 2 o'clock, bass at 11 o'clock. The channel volume is at noon. The gain control is at noon on here as well. Let's go. The bridge pickup, which I should have mentioned, is a Duncan JB. The neck pickup on here is a Jazz. Fun fact. That's kind of crazy. It has that vocal mid-range thing that I actually associate with a lot of Joe's lead playing. So it kind of sounds like it's voiced for that. If I pull the, well, not pull it, if I press the mid-shift button on here, this is what it does. I'm on the orange mode again. of a better term, that channel doesn't sound quite as metal as the regular JVM. It's got that singing mid-range no matter whether you have the mid-shift in or not. Let's go OD2 and complete the tour of the JS JVM. Green, and then orange, and then red. Then I'll kick the mid-shift in. Got my Les Paul with some PAFs in it now. I'm going to work backwards. So kind of got the OD1 and OD2 channel dialed in where I like them. What I might do is give you OD2 red, and I'm going to pull the mids out a little bit and then boost it with the SD1. So let me just make sure that's got the level all the way up on the SD1 with my foot. Pull some mids out. Let's have a listen to this. I'm on the orange mode of OD2. No mid shift. All right, let's hear the OD1 orange do the same thing. You're going to hear it with the Les Paul, then I'm going to kick in the SD1, and you might hear it with the mid shift at some point as well. That was hot garbage. Let's go back to the crunch mode, again with the Les Paul. I got the gain right down on this one, but the bass and treble are cranked and the mids pulled out. Again, this was kind of the Voxy style setting, as I called it. So that does the AC/DC thing pretty well with the mids all the way up. I do kind of like that more scooped, you know, black panel Fender Vox style thing that I had going on there. Let's crank up the gain on this one. Let's just see how much we get. Now, one thing that I did read about this amp is that if you turn the channel volume up and you turn the master down, you get slightly different results to doing it the other way around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the channel volume all the way up here. Let's just go back to orange mode and we'll kind of get our AC/DC-ish sound back a little bit. And what I'm going to do is just bring the master up until it's just loud enough. Then I'll do the opposite. I'll turn the master all the way up and I'll bring the channel volume down. Let's see what we get. Pretty subtle. On OD2, it did sound a little bit kind of brighter and more open with the channel volume up and the master down, a little bit darker the other way around. I didn't notice too much of it on channel 2 though, so that's kind of interesting in there and worth playing around with if you've got one of these amps. All right, I've got my Strat. Let's go back to the clean green mode on here and let's answer the question, does it 80s clean? Let's go back to channel 2 with the Strat now, neck pickup, and I'm going for kind of a bluesy thing. I might kick the compressor in front as well, but first, drive. Let's try OD1, then OD2 on the bridge pickup of the Strat. Finally, OD2 with the hotcake in front of it. overall, this amp kind of sounds like someone took the JVM and modded it to a very particular guitar stylist's preferences, maybe Joe Satriani's preferences. It's got a lot of the same feel about the amplifier. There's a lot of crossover with the sounds. I do need to do a side-by-side so we can just kind of find out, or mostly so I can find out just how different they are. But overall, this to me doesn't do the super scooped, crazy high-gain metal thing as much as the normal JVM wants to. There's a very lovely vocal kind of singing mid-range about the lead channels on here, and the main clean channel stays super clean. You could definitely set it up with a chorus or a detune and some delay and get a lovely 80s clean. Use the second channel for your kind of chime sound or your AC/DC sound. Then you can have your high gain rhythm and your high gain lead on the other two channels there. And much like the regular edition JVM, it takes pedals well, it responds well to different guitars, and there's a pretty broad spectrum of tones that you can get out of it. I want to know your thoughts though. Have you tried one of these Joe Satriani edition JVMs? You somebody like Martin, who loaned me both amps because you own both of them and they sound different enough for you to justify them. And if not, what's your favorite modern Marshall? Is it a JVM? Is it a vintage modern, a DSL, a TSL, or something like, I don't know, we're going to call it JCM 900 a modern Marshall? We probably should. Something like the SLX or the Mark III or even the dual reverb. Let me know in the comments section below. If you like what I'm doing here on the channel, there are links to support what I'm doing directly. You can also get some free IRs and some fun stuff. A big shout out again to Martin for loaning me both of his JVM amps for the week. I've been having a lot of fun with it, and I will do my best to film a comparison video and get it up very soon. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.